Released on November 19th, 2006, the Nintendo Wii has sold over 110 million units worldwide and has a game library over 1,500 games. Most of these are not worth that much, but the occasional few can be worth a pretty penny. Let's go ahead and jump right into this list, starting out with number 15. Which is One Piece Unlimited Adventure. Now, this is a game that is based upon the One Piece anime from Japan. Now, Bandai published this game in the United States, and it did see a release in Japan as well. However, the game sold very poorly in the United States, and the sequels to this game were not released in the US, only in Japan. Because of its poor sales, the game is hard to find at any store or any kind of shop like that, but the fans of the anime keep the price very high. You can get a used copy of this game for around $40 complete. Next up, we have Ju-On the Grudge, which is a survival horror game produced by Xseed Games and Rising Star Games. It was released in 2009 in North America. Like I said, it's a survival horror game, and it did receive decent reviews, but it didn't sell very well, making it more of a sought-after game, especially for the fans of the genre. You can get a used copy of this game for around $45. Next up, we have F1 2009, which is a game developed by Codemasters, and they never really confirmed or not whether the sales of this were very bad, but due to it being better on both the Xbox 360 and the PS3 and PC versions, this game probably did not sell that well. Now, there's not any numbers out there to confirm this, but like I said, with the better versions out there, it was a very, very bad port of this game. It didn't sell very well, making it hard to come by. I've never even seen this game in the wild, but it's a racing game, so you'd think I'd see it, but no, I have not. Anyway, this game can run you up to $45 to find a complete copy. Our next game is Metroid Prime Trilogy, which includes Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3 in a collectible metal case. The first two games were originally released on GameCube, but this is a redone, better graphic version of the two games combined with the third one, which Corruptions, which came out on the Wii. The game was published in August 2009 with a collector's edition and all that kind of cool stuff. So this game is not very rare, but it's pretty sought after, and a lot of Nintendo collectors out there would love to get their hands on this game. It's actually pretty pricey. A complete copy of this game, collector's edition, will run you about $55 to $65. Another very awesome limited edition game that came out on the Wii is a Super Mario All-Stars limited edition 25th anniversary. Now, this game came out, like I said, on the 25th anniversary of the original Super Mario Bros. On the NES. It included worlds from Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and 3 and Lost Levels. This was actually printed in pretty low quantities for the time, and it was selling for $100 then, and it's only going to continue with that value because these games just kind of really hold on to their value. Right now, the price on this game is looking like you can get a complete version of it for around $55 to $75. Next up, we have Kirby's Return to Dreamland, which was released in October of 2011 as a brand new story with Wiimote-style controls. The game is kind of similar to other Kirby platformers and it has a 4-player co-op, but like I said, this game continues to hold its value because it is a big-name Nintendo game. Kirby, Mario, Metroid, those games never really seem to lose any of their value. This game, used complete, will run you about $45 to $50. Next up is Godzilla Unleashed, which is a Godzilla game that allows you to destroy cities with Godzilla and other monsters, and it also includes a party fighter multiplayer mode, much like Smash Brothers. This game was originally released in 2009 and has been steadily climbing in price ever since. Like I said, it's a kind of a smaller print run game. It's published by Atari, so it's kind of a big name there. But there were never any reprints of this game, so what's there is there, and it's only going to go up from here. This game will run you about $45 to $55 to find a complete copy. Our next game is Dokapon Kingdom, which is a game which was published by Atlus and was released for the Wii in 2008. Now, this is actually a remake of a 1994 Super Famicom game called Dokapon 321. And like I said, Atlus is notorious for having small print runs of games, especially ones that are ported from Japanese imports. So this game did not sell very well, had a small print run. A used copy of this game, if you guys can get your hands on it, run you about $55 to $65 to find a complete one. Our next game is The Last Story, which is a third-person action role-playing game with stealth and strategy elements. The game was actually developed and published by Nintendo in Japan and Europe, but was published by Xseed Games in North America, even though the copyright is still held by Nintendo. The game was released in 2012, and like I said, it's a very decent game. It was originally developed by Nintendo, but published by Xseed Games, like I said. But a used copy of this game will run you about $55. Our next game is My Horse and Me Riding for Gold, which was released in 2009 and was developed by Atari, of all people. Now this game lets you ride, completely take care of, and show off your horses in competition. Now, like you can imagine, this game was probably not very good. It did not sell very well, especially in the United States. In fact, the game was stopped mid-cycle and taken off shelves. And on top of that, Atari doesn't even acknowledge that this game exists on their own website. So it's very likely that this game got a very small print run, making the game pretty hard to come by. So if you guys can see this game, please snag it. It's about a $75 game complete. Next up is Fritz Chess, which is a chess game was released and developed in 2009 by Deep Silver. Now, this game is rumored to only have a limited release in selected US markets. The exact number of copies that were produced and released is actually not known. So this is probably one of the smaller print run games that was actually licensed and released in the United States. This game is actually really hard to come by, and a used complete copy of this game can run you anywhere from $75 to $85. Next, we have Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, which is a fighting game with all the Dragon Ball Z anime characters. Now, the first two Budokai Tenkaichi series games were released on the PlayStation 2, and the third one was also released on the PS2, but also on the Wii, and the Wii is the much more expensive version. This game was developed and published by Atari, but all games, Dragon Ball Z Universe games since, have been published by Bandai, making it impossible for this game to ever get a reprint, so that's why it's going to be going up in price in the near future. This game, a used copy of this game complete, will run you about $65 to $75.
Set your fight in minute. What scenario will you play today?
Next up is a game called the Mensa Academy, which is a brain IQ game where you take quizzes and solve puzzles, and it gives you a score based upon your IQ. Now, this game obviously was not very popular, did not play very well, had a low print run in the United States, and was eventually taken off store shelves early into its lifespan, making the game very rare and very sought after actually by collectors. And a used copy of this game complete would run you about $75. Coming in at our runner-up spot is Xenoblade Chronicles, which is a kind of a niche market game, but it's gaining more popularity, the series as that is, due to its characters being in Smash Brothers and now having a 3DS game and the Wii U game in the development. This series is actually taking off, which making this game kind of harder to find. It was kind of a lower print run, and it had a really cool box as well. It had a limited edition that came with this. If you guys can find that limited edition box, it's actually worth a pretty penny. That game complete is worth about $85 to $90, so make sure you guys keep an eye out for this one. Also a very good fun game to play. And finally, our number one most valuable game on the Nintendo Wii is Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, which was released in November of 2007 and was developed by Intelligent Systems. Now, this game is a tactical role-playing game, and if you guys are familiar with anything to do with Fire Emblem, they are in Smash Bros. And other things like that, making the series a little bit more popular. This is a very sought-after series. The gameplay of these games has been really solid since the beginning, and making the kind of niche market with small print runs to kind of drive the price of these games up. So you're looking at about $95 to $100, sometimes even more, to get your hands on a copy of this game complete in decent shape. But that's all there is to this, guys. Hopefully you guys have some of these games, or if you guys can keep an eye out for some of these games. I know I would like to run across some of these games at a flea market for about $5. Hopefully you guys can as well. Make sure you guys smash that like button. And until next time, guys, remember that it's KMAC time somewhere. Take it easy and peace out.